All right. I'm here. I'm in my range safe camo, and let's see. Where's the one of these caches has all of the common weapons in them. Ah, here it is. And then I need some ammo.
Oh, thanks, my beloved.
Gun Autism 101.
Got the voice and
All right.
changes my
Okay.
gameplay.
So, let's see. What do we got first? Hairpin.
Oh yes.
This is a bolt action pistol, basically. Chambered in light ammo, and apparently has an integrated silencer. So this, let me top it off. Okay.
Wow.
Once it stops. This is basically just a well rod, or like the Mark 22. It's a tube with a trigger and a hammer in it, and the sights seem kind of bad. The well rod is a integrally suppressed, I believe it's 22 caliber pistol, and I would believe that this thing's chambered in 22 because it's basically a pea shooter and doesn't deal much damage. I have never seen anyone use it. Except for like one video where someone was doing like formal duels with people, and I thought that was really funny. So I guess there you go. There's your dueling pistol. What about where's the next one? The kettle.
I was about to say, I'm on. You're basically at this point just having a conversation with the voices in your head.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
The kettle is
Yeah, we don't know that
also
type of shit.
Semi-automatic, uses light ammo despite being an assault rifle, and it's got no fire rate cap, so if you click fast enough, you can actually shoot pretty well, and it's got pretty low recoil. What's interesting, aside from the fact that the magazine being on the right confuses me a little bit. But I guess if it is, like, I think this is a little bit like the Sten with the side magazine. Having it be outwards might actually be better for comfort. What's interesting, though, is... Here, let me pull up the... This is the other grade 1 weapon that uses light ammo. And I want to see if you notice something. This one's a lot quieter. Like, it's still loud, but it's quiet. So what I think that what this is, I think it's chambered in like a subsonic ammo type, like 9mm or whatever, where the kettle or the gas on the top is basically like an external gas system. Where, like, on most rifles, like the AK and the AR-15, you've got the gas tube system that takes some of the gases from the barrel and uses that to help move the bolt back to help chamber the next round. I think that's what this has, because subsonic ammos typically have less powder in them, just to, like, help them stay underneath the, to help them avoid breaking the sound barrier. In my opinion, genuinely the best all-purpose grade 1, and it's the one I prefer to get the most when I'm out and about.
But I see why it's called a kettle. It can make anyone scream if you hit their kneecap.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Stitcher, this thing's interesting because here, let me shoot this real quick, just from hipfire. Do you see any casings coming out of this, or any gun for that matter? There, actually, yeah, never mind, there might be casings. Either way, this is a very simple... Like, granted, all of the common weapons are very similar to, like, the Fallout pipe weapons, where it is extremely basic. What's weird is that it's mirrored in the preview. Same with the kettle. This has the magazine inwards, but in-game it's outwards. I don't know why it's like that.
Because it can.
Yeah, sure. One thing I also find funny, that is a very long trigger, and yet they have, like, the character has their fingers behind it. Unless they, like, move it when they're aiming, which I don't have free cam, so I can't validate that.
It could be a push-up trigger.
That... Why, though?
Because.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah,
I mean, you're shooting
also,
a nail gun, basically.
I do find it funny, they have a, a top pole bolt similar to something on the Thompson. But the Thompson, I believe it's an open bolt submachine gun, so you pull the bolt back. In this, it seems to be closed bolt, so it just gets pushed back whenever you fire it. I do also like, though, that the recoil, like the guy has it shaped at the end of it instead of it just being upwards. Also, the fact that these weapons are all rusty as hell means that you get some reload issues. These two are going to be
modified nail
interesting.
gun.
Yeah, I'd believe that. The Pharaoh. This thing is the rat and the free loadout enjoyer's best friend. Despite all its fancy knickknacks and everything else on there, it's a break action single. Sorry, I thought I heard something. It's a break action single shot, and it's honestly pretty good because it is in heavy ammo, which I guess in this game is like 7.62 or bigger, because you've got a sniper rifle chambered in medium ammo, but we'll get to that.
Now I know what to use on Billy.
What do you think the best revolver in the game is?
Oh, we'll get to that. I mean, there's not much in terms of choice, but
I mean,
yeah,
at least now you know what to use to blow someone's head off.
This, I think, is the most believable of the weapons, because it's literally just a tube that you put a bullet in. Though I do find it weird the amount of, like, effort/detail that's gone into the bits being added. Like, you've almost got an AR/M4 style stock and, like, buffer tube there, which would be interesting to find in the, like, third post-apocalypse, but I digress. The Rattler is, I'd say, the most interesting of the common weapons, though, purely because it's very similar to a French gun that I don't remember the name. I think it's like the Chauchet or something, where it has this weird, like, half-circle magazine. That one is basically, it's very similar to an AK magazine, where it, like, hooks in at the front, clicks into place, and I mean, it's a magazine fed. It's also a very simple gun because it was made for war and it had to be very cost effective. This thing is much the same, except instead of loading it from the rear, you might notice, take a close look here, he pulls the bolt back and then loads into the front, which doesn't actually seem that helpful in terms of recoil control, but it would be a simple design, I suppose. The only thing that doesn't really sit right with me is how far back the trigger is when this is where, like, the bolt is. That seems like a lot of needless distance to cover. Alright, let's see, what else? You know what, I'll do the anvil. Considering you were asking about the best revolver in the game. This is the only revolver in the game. There's only one,
Wow,
I'm
and it has a
afraid.
fitting name.
Yeah.
There's only one revolver.
Which makes
Yeah.
sense. This thing hits like a goddamn truck. It is my favorite weapon for, like, all-purpose. And it's also, it's an uncommon, so it is... It is very common. What you might have noticed, instead of having the chamber come out to the side when you're here, let me spend some rounds. You might notice, instead, that little cover off to the side gets flipped up and then new ammo is put in. There's also wiring on the side of the gun, which leads me to believe that instead of this being like percussion, it's electric, especially because you can see like that little power pack to the right of the trigger.
I mean, gunpowder and electricity, dude.
I mean, if you shoot like faulty batteries, you're basically shooting like tiny little bullets.
I mean, if you're having electrical contact firing, it's, considering the fact that it's literally the post-apocalypse,
I saw it's heavy ammo.
It would be harder to have things work other ways. The one thing I don't get is that if it is electric,
then what do you do when it runs out of batteries?
why have a hammer on it? because you could just have it
Percussion
be
points.
almost like similar to striker-fired pistols, where it doesn't have a hammer. Speaking of striker-fired, is this actually a striker-fired pistol? Let me reload it first. The Berletta. It's very basic. One thing that I find weird is that it's almost designed like a subcompact, where you can see that the magazine is also half the grip, and I mean, it does look like it's made out of scrap, but I mean, like the kettle does not have a rate of fire cap, and considering what the gunsmiths have to work with, it's not bad. It is still funny that it is it's a blowback pistol, because even in whatever year this is, I think it's like the 2200s, I still find it funny that John Moses Browning's fingerprints are still found to this day. Also, I noticed that it has a safety there. I find that funny. And then interesting
if you melt down, like, you know, baby teeth and put it in, like, metal, you technically use that as bullets.
What the fuck? I can't tell if that's supposed... Oh, it is a wire. For a second, I thought it was metal bit, because here it looks the same color as the rest of the gun. That would be interesting to prevent the slide from biting your, like, the webbing of your hand if you were holding it too high. But if anything, this weapon seems like you're designed to hold it low, which I imagine wouldn't feel that great to actually shoot.
Well, if it keeps biting the webbing of your fingers, cut it off then.
What?
You probably don't need it.
Also no. Okay. I need shotgun ammo. Here we are. The El Toro! I genuinely believe that if the apocalypse ever came to pass, shotguns would still, like, thrive, just because a tube shotgun is not difficult in terms of concept. You've got a spring at the end of the tube that gets pushed back when you load shells, you've got a means to load them into the chamber, and then you have the trigger. I do find it funny how large the trigger guard is on this, in case you have, like, gloved hands or whatever. And also, I noticed that every single stock on these weapons, it is the same stock. It is the same part. I imagine whoever makes those must be rolling in cash, but I digress. It's a shotgun! Admittedly, this is a very, like, rusty, kind of old one, so it's not got the great rate of fire that it has when it's upgraded, but it gets the job done.
I gotta ask, is there like a ton of rifles and shotguns in this game? Because it's mostly to do with the fact that they're just powerful guns in general.
There's not too much. One thing I will say about the shotgun, you would think that it's, especially considering what shotguns are used for in, like, hunting purposes, that it would be decent for drones, and up close it absolutely is, but it very much suffers, at least against arc targets, from video game shotgun syndrome, where if you're like 10 meters away, it won't do a damn thing. That spread is fairly accurate. You need to be aiming center mass or for weak points with it. Moving on to the
Honestly, it's good for getting rid of
arpeggio.
carriers.
Yeah. You have 3 seconds to tell me what arpeggio means in musical terms if you know it. If you don't, no big deal.
It's the
I dropped out of
loudness.
musical because it was not interesting.
You know what?
I only did
Loudness
choir.
music.
Essentially, when you try to, what's it called?
I was forced in the
When
band.
you try to play a chord.
Isn't
but you're
arpeggio
only
like a
one person
3-note,
music,
thing?
It can
You-
be 3. Yes.
You talked over each other, but yeah, I'll give it to you. It's when you play, instead of playing a chord all at once, you kind of roll the notes. In this case, that's kind of referenced as it being, as you saw. It's a 3-round burst.
The gun and the person you're shooting at.
Yeah, I guess if you want to be psychopathic about it. It's not bad. Admittedly, I've not used this thing too much, because I only have 2 of them, and though I can craft them myself, I'd rather save the components.
Is that why you don't bring too many?
Yeah, if you don't extract properly, you do. I do have plenty of anvils, though, so I tend to bring those. What's interesting is that it has a gas tube, like the one for the other rifles, but weirdly enough, it's very short. It's also, if you squint at it hard enough, it looks like an unbullpupped FAMAS, which I find very, very funny. Because, yeah, So the FAMAS is a French rifle that is known for firing in 3-shot bursts. It's a nice gun. I don't think I'd ever be able to get my hands on one, but this thing is very funny to me. Moving on,
I'm sure
we've
someone
got...
can get their hands on them.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna sidestep the law for it. Moving on, one thing I want to point out before I do, you might have noticed, like, the common weapons all seem like scrap, right? And then you have generally kind of, like, decent weapon-shaped weapons in uncommon. In rare is where things start getting fun. This is the Osprey.
The Osprey sounds like a Pokemon, bro.
It is a straight pull bolt-action rifle chambered in medium ammo, and the only gun in the game with a scope. It's also very loud. I typically run this with a suppressor because I have the blueprint for it. Both the suppressor and the gun itself. I honestly like it. You do have to lead your shots a bit in this game. Granted, 40 meters isn't exactly a good display. I'd be shooting more to, like, where that tree is. If not further.
If only I can make that reference.
I do find it funny that it's a straight pull instead of having that off to the side. Like, it folds onto the bolt itself, which I honestly could... What the... Oh, the range reset.
What the...
let me get back out there. That was weird. Anyway, let me bring this back out, Okay. I genuinely would believe that the reason that the handle for the bolt is covering the bolt is to, like, help with wear, but I don't realize, or rather, don't really know how much sense that makes, because unfortunately, unlike the person who inspired this video, I am not too well versed in actually getting my hands on a whole bunch of guns. I read about them, but I don't get to work with that much from what I do. Only standard issue stuff. Moving on, the Venator. This thing is weird. Have you guys ever seen that, like, double-barreled 1911? I think it's called the Dueler or whatever. This is a double... It is a double-barreled pistol. It's kind of hard to tell from the preview, but it has... with a single trigger pull, you fire 2 shots. You might have noticed the 2 bullet casings. Despite that, it still manages to hold a, I guess effectively 20-round magazine. And what's interesting to me is that this does not look like a... I wouldn't even think this looks like a double-stack magazine. So I'm a little confused on how it loads the 2 rounds into the chambers separately, as opposed to it just being like that 1911 where you have the 2 different mag wells for each. But despite that, it also has like a little laser on it, or light on it, that doesn't seem to do anything, but I do like the idea of, oh, as you go up the weapon rarities, you get more and more technologically interesting. And also, this weapon is currently one of the best in the game for PvP specifically, just because it kills in 7 shots. You can very easily put a an extra large magazine on this. I even have the blueprint for it, and despite the fact that it shoots medium ammo, which it's not scarce, but it's not bountiful either, this gun's good. Even after it got nerfed, it's good. If you have the blueprint for it, congratulations. You can just pump these things out because they're also pretty cheap. Let's see what else. Oh, why does this have mods on it? Did I mod this, or did I grab this off of a corpse?
Maybe both.
I don't put silencers on my weapons. Alright, the Renegade.
Because silencers are for pussies.
I would say this is arguably the best all-purpose weapon in the game, both for dealing with arcs and human targets. It is a lever action chambered in medium ammo. It is rusty, so it's got a low rate of fire compared to if it was fully upgraded, but it is a very much jack-of-all-trades kind of weapon. Can I hit the shots? There we go. And if you put it with like what I have with a medium mag, a stable stock, and if you have it upgraded for rate of fire, even against something like a medium or a heavy shield, here, let me fire on the heavy shield. 5-shot kill. You have 20. So if you're engaging from like a further distance with this thing, which you absolutely can, this thing can win some long distance engagements very well. But if you want close distance, look no further than the Torrente, or the Torrent. It's a weird Frankenstein of gun parts. You might notice that it has some evocations of like the MG42 with that cocking lever on the right side, and it has your typical LMG dust cover. What I don't like about this, if I shoot it, I have to load it first. I should probably grab some more medium ammo. Where is it? Yeah, just let me... Yeah, because it would definitely help me if I grabbed some ammo for this thing.
Yeah.
Pay close attention to the mag, or the cover on this. You see how it pops up a little, right? Here, I'll shoot it again. You see that?
Oh no, yeah.
That's... Yeah, that's really bad for a machine gun. Because for those that don't know nearly as much about firearms, for example, on the 240 and 249, the feed cover on that has a mechanism that helps eject the casings and load the next round, because, you know, it's fed from either like a magazine or a belt, and the casings have to go somewhere to prevent jamming up the gun. If that cover is not latched on correctly, the gun will not work properly. I believe it will jam. And you don't want that, especially if you're dealing with something like a Rocketeer. I don't get how this thing fires when that is what's happening. I also find it weird. Let me dump some ammo so I can reload one more time. This thing is not belt fed. It has a bizarre, like, internal magazine that, I don't know, it's not see-through or anything, so I can't really tell where it feeds into the rest of the weapon, and if it's like a weird P90 magazine, that is not holding 60 shots. If you had like a 249 box mag off to the side, or even where like the 249 can take NATO 5.56 magazines, it doesn't work that great, but you can use it. If it had something like that, I wouldn't really bat an eye. I would be willing to look at the rest of this and wave it. But this also does seem to be another electric fire one, considering you can see that like battery on the front. And I do like that this one has a heat shield on it. I think that and then it has like almost the, you know, the saw foregrip, which, I mean, if you're going for just suppression fire and you want, like, for example, if you don't want anyone sticking their head out from that bus, they're not sticking their head out from that bus! At least until you have to reload, because this thing does, again, that's why belts are better. You get, you know,
if you're a quiet kid,
100 plus rounds. No, we do not make jokes like that.
Oh.
If you're holding that long enough and shooting it long enough, it'll probably blow up.
I don't know about blow up, but yeah, most likely after a while something would go wrong. Because the way that, for those of you that don't know, the reason there's a handle on like 240 and 249 barrels, it's a carrying handle, yes, but it's also so that they can easily be swapped out. Like, there's normally something alongside one of those called a barrel bag, where it has 1 or 2 backup barrels, one short, one long, for whatever purpose, right? If you're firing and just dumping bullets downrange, the bullet's gonna, or not the bullet, the barrel is gonna heat up. And you're gonna need to swap it out, or else it's gonna warp, right? And you don't want it to warp, because then it might actually blow up. Not the barrel itself, but the bullets will get stuck.
If you stick a suppressor on that, if you fire long enough, the suppressor will melt itself.
Yeah, but why the hell are you putting a suppressor on a weapon designed for area suppression and, like, defensive purposes?
Because people are curious. And very stupid.
Hold on,
You saying people like there's more than one.
Oh, no. Wait, hold on.
Like I said, curiosity sometimes wins.
Oh, hold on. I need to...
No.
That's still so loud. Again, it's a light machine gun. You're saying just, I'm over here anytime you fire it. But first things first, the Tempest. The first and one of 2 epic weapons I have found. This thing's interesting. You see how there's that little screen on it?
Yep.
There are a couple of experimental guns out there that actually have like this. It would display the amount of rounds left in the magazine. Think of like the rifle from Halo.
I thought it would be
right?
way funnier if you just answered with, "That has nothing to do with the weapon. Here's what it actually does."
Yeah, you can play Tetris on it. It runs Doom. You know the regular things.
It has
Oh.
to do, man.
Yo.
This is the, I guess, expensive but jack of all trades epic weapon, and it's one that I would love to use, but I'm terrified of losing, so... It's also got a suppressor on it. Because I found it off a guy who died trying to fight a Rocketeer at the exit. And, yeah.
Sounds like
It's
someone's
also,
going, like,
it is a
basics
very
classroom.
solid weapon, especially considering, from what testing I did, it's like, I don't know, 17 shots to kill even a heavy shield, and you've got 33 with just a green mag. You can get a better magazine for even more bullets. So if you're, like, in a fight with 2 people holding a doorway and they're about to both come rushing through because your friend got down, you can absolutely lay into both of them without taking your finger off the trigger, so long as your recoil control is good. And this isn't even upgraded. I actually don't know what it does when upgraded.
But more. It does more.
It airs
It
Yeah.
everyone
kills
out.
people when it's upgraded, don't you know?
It's...
That's
Yeah,
like
What,
guns are
and
bad.
also, something funny, thinking back to the arpeggio, right? Remember how I said that this looked like an unbullpupped FAMAS?
Wait a goddamn minute.
This thing is bullpupped. Like,
Holy
I find it really funny
They're like long
that
lost brothers.
the epic, more quote-unquote technologically advanced weapon has the theoretical superior ergonomical and, like, for recoil management design, because that way you get a really long barrel. Though I would admittedly prefer iron sights to having a... I actually wonder, I think the screen might be one of those, like, ballistics calculators that some sniper scopes have, like the really hot, like, it's, think like Black Ops 2, that sci-fi sort of crap. Alright, the Bobcat. This thing I found the most recently. You'll never guess where I found it.
Have neighbors if you don't want them.
On a cat?
I know, actually. I found this in Stella Monis in a security cache. And it actually came without any of the kits. So this, all of this that I put on it, is all stuff that I've scavenged or, like, got from trials or whatever. This is, I would say, the most popular epic weapon in terms of, like, PvP and such, because it spits lead like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
However,
It
one thing you
spits
might...
lead like you can spit.
It spits it faster than
You might have
grabber.
noticed, though, that it took...
It's faster than
Let
M&M.
me hold down the trigger and just... It took
No,
most
Eminem
of the
got nothing on
magazine
this.
just to kill a light armored target, right?
Saying something
Considering-
stupid like it's faster than Eminem is so funny to me.
Eminem's getting slimed by a gun.
Considering they use 11
Eminem
Labs
getting
AI dubbing
slammed
for
down by
the
a
character
gun.
voices, I would find it really funny if someone took the vocal samples, quote unquote, of the Bobcat and had it sing Rap God. One thing I should point out,
Every time you shoot, it's a rap god.
Wait,
this weapon here, let me show you. It's got an effective range of like 20 meters without recoil control because it spreads like crazy. So it's a decent mid-range weapon, but you're probably going to be using it up close, which is interesting because, again, it took, 22 bullets, when you could instead just grab a shotgun and double pump in less time. Which kind of reveals to you that this game, the rarity doesn't necessarily mean better. But,
It prefers in your playstyle.
yeah.
Can we get the
I also
epic
do-
weapon dissing Drake? Can we
Oh my
get that as an audio file?
Really? Okay. Tempest on the beat, yo. Another one, or another weapon that has its magazine inwards on the preview, but outwards in-game also, which bugs me to no avail. But then, all of the auto-loading, like, rifles, there's actually an epic I'm missing that is, like, a
It's a
heavier
bird,
rifle.
kill it!
Where? Where was it?
I heard a bird! Kill it!
I heard it! Where is it?
Man. I
heard a bird kill it. Where?
There! Alright. Sorry, what was I saying?
Powerful, it makes birds scatter when you shoot.
All of the submachine guns have the magazine out to the side. And I'm like, okay, if that's to save on work, I get it. If that's to show that it's, like, it helps you identify at a glance what kind of weapon ammo it's using, that makes sense.
Nah,
But
it's to
if
show how
anything...
gangster it is.
No. If anything, you would have the rifle magazines off to the side so that you wouldn't need as powerful a spring to move the heavier bullet. Yeah, I don't know. I just like taking the Osprey zone scoping in and then just like, boss, get down. The enemy sniper.
The enemies.
Get down, Mr. President.
The one thing I do find annoying about the Osprey that I really hope gets changed in like a future patch or whatever, because this gun is good, it's
George
not
W. Lewis,
great.
Doug.
And there is one thing in particular. I have to unscope to chamber a new round. Meaning I have to scope back in,
actually do have that
reacquire my
mechanic.
target. I know, other games do have that mechanic. But this gun is already kind of viewed as, despite it being the sniper rifle, one of the worst snipers. At least in the circles I'm
losing your
aware.
target.
No, yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, with something
So by the
like,
time you rescope again, you get the point. It's like
yeah.
playing Wells Waldo.
Meanwhile, as opposed to something like, again, the Renegade, you can just chamber the next round. Let me wait for those to go back up. And keep shooting.
Yeah, this time Waldo wasn't getting away.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Turn him into
This
glass mosaic.
is only 20% noise reduction, but that's already a lot better in terms of... Also, if you try and pull the trigger again before you've recocked the shot, like if I click right now, it just forcibly kicks you out so that you can do the next shot. Yeah, thank you for the commentary.
I just randomly thought about this. It'd be funny for if, what was it, the Bobcat, the shit that Eminem can't keep up with. It'd be funny that whenever it fires, it just plays the lyrics of Rap God.
Every time you reload, it's just breathing.
No. Alright. I guess Arc Raiders modders, if that's okay, get on that. But then also, would it start from the beginning anytime you fired, or would it like pick up where it left off?
Pick up where it left off.
Oh, that would be a nightmare.
I know what for sound effect.
Also,
Oh,
if you think
yeah,
about
alright,
it,
cool,
it wouldn't
thanks.
be too hard